Welcome back to the Do More podcast. We're so excited to have you with us. It's been amazing to hear the feedback from our audiences from across the world. Can you believe that? And so thank you for sharing your thoughts, for engaging with us, and please keep it coming. We love the engagement and we're really enjoying this journey with you and these conversations. Welcome, Cara. So excited to have you with us in person. It's just such a moment for us to be together and to talk about something that we're both really super passionate about. We're talking about excess business inventory. And a project called Repurpose for Purpose, which we engage with and work. We've been working for 7 years as the foundation on this project. So, before we jump in too deeply and explain to our listeners about Repurpose for Purpose, we always start with a playful check-in. And so today the playful check-in is you're a mom, a new mommy, and this year I'm sure you've repurposed many a thing with your child, because as we know, new moms, you can pack 1,000 things and you'll need 1,001 for whatever the day brings. So what item have you repurposed in the last few months that is unusual, or it wasn't why you packed it, but you ended up using it anyway? So first question for our listeners, because I think a few people will be wondering at the start of this podcast, what even is excess business inventory? And why is it important to the Do More Foundation? Why are we even engaging with businesses around their inventory?
So it is quite a big word. A lot of people kind of switch off when they hear excess business inventory. Essentially, some people describe it as waste, but that doesn't always have the best connotations with it. Basically, excess business inventory is something that the factory would normally throw away, but it doesn't mean that it's dirty or actually waste. So in Repurpose for Purposes case, for example, the waste that we use, or excess business inventory we use, is white cardboard that has got nothing printed on them. And we've been working really hard with some ECD specialists and those in the early learning space to figure out what we could put on this white space that could serve as cognitive development tools or early learning tools for young children in South Africa, 0 to 5 years old. And the answer is quite incredible. It's a set of picture boards. I wish we actually brought some.
I know.
We beautiful sets of picture boards.
We can put a link in the
we'll drop a link so you can actually download all of the graphics yourself and use them. So it's 7 different picture boards, all within the awesome Afrocentric context, actually illustrated by Spool, who has also been on our podcast. And then the most awesome Where Does It Go game. Basically, it's a big board with a whole lot of different cards of different colors, shapes, and everything that a young children needs in terms of quantities. And there's, I think we counted almost 250 different activities that you can do with these little resources. What's amazing is that because it comes from excess business inventory through our partner, Barrows Global, is that these are printed completely free on the space that their clients are not using. Sure. And so far, I think we've distributed close to 800,000 of these early learning resources through incredible partners across the country.
That's very cool. So basically, you're repurposing waste for social good.
Exactly.
You're taking waste that would have gone to a landfill, would have gone to a tip, and you're redirecting it, putting value to it by printing on it and redirecting it towards children.
Exactly.
So this is now the conversation around businesses and children, because you often get questions from business. How can we help? How can we get involved? We want to invest in the future. We want to invest in CSI initiatives. How do we place young children into that model and system? What did that look like when you were setting this project up?
So, I think the first recipe to success is a willing business. And that's where we have to give Barrows Global a massive round of applause because they were just full in. Yeah. They believe that corporate social investment is something...
Do you mean full on?
Full on, yes. So close.
Yeah.
They were fully in and full on. Right. They believe that corporate social investment is not something that should be bolted on. It should be built in to your business. And so started their journey of looking at this excess waste that they had and recycling every single month to seeing how could we repurpose this for young children? How could we repurpose this firstly, and how can we repurpose it for young children? So that's where we came on board. And I think if a lot of businesses are absorbing this idea of building corporate social investment into their business, it now makes them look at the waste or excess business inventory around their factory. So, for example, it's not just the paper waste that is now recycled through barrows. Yes. They've had a look at what else is in our factory that we should be looking at. And they've found that they produce a lot of plastic waste on their permanent side of the factory. Sure. So how do we recycle this? So now it's being melted down, and together we have put together the amazing B blocks. Again, we'll put that link in. I'll send some photos. And the B blocks is an awesome building block that is now produced purely out of the plastic waste that comes from there. It's obviously graded, so it's safe for young children to put in the mouth, because we know that that's something they love to do. But yeah, I think a lot of companies can take a big learning from this just by looking around and seeing what can be repurposed and how.
Why would this work for some businesses and not for others? Because I think there's also like a goodness of fit, and a shared value component to this. And that we often speak about shared value as in we as a nonprofit hold value to this product, but the business also gains value. How have you made that work?
So it's a really good question. I think why it works well in barrows is because it doesn't interfere with their daily business practice. It's something that just rolls every single day. Everyone knows their job. They know to cut it out. They know to put it this side of the factory, and it goes upstairs. It just becomes of everyday business running. So that's the one thing, is that it's not like anyone has to go out of their way to make this happen. It's built into the business. The other thing is the shared value of the tax donation that we've able to get back from nonprofits as well. So every piece of material that is sent out has got a rand value. And because that is a donation to a nonprofit, they are able to get Section 18 A's, which is a big part of our job, is handling the admin. That's the shared value that we bring to get those Section 18A certificates for barrows at the end of the day. And every year they claim it back as part of their CSI, and they get a massive tax break from it too. Amazing. So it does make business sense in that way as well. It also connects their clients with ECD in a very special way. And I mean, to put it really, really, straightforwardly, is that it makes them look really good because they are doing this incredible thing for young children and actually for the environment as well in terms of climate change. That's every single day.
For me, it sparks a call to action for people in business, corporates, particularly those manufacturing and producing, where there is a waste component, to start to think about the waste and the material that's around them and how they can get involved. So I think there is an open invitation there in some ways to start thinking more thoughtfully about climate and about waste. So episode 2, you might have heard it. Warren and I spoke about our new theory of change and scale. And I wonder, with this project in mind, what are some of the scaling challenges that you faced over the last 7 years as the program has gained momentum and interest?
So, talking about shared value, an amazing partner in Repurpose for Purpose is the nonprofit sector. The resource and training organizations and ECD nonprofit organizations, we've got an amazing culture about ourselves. So they are our distribution pipeline. They are the ones that get these resources and put in resources to get these to young children on the ground with training. So they've come in as an incredible resource. One of the restrictions, or like you say, your problems, is that there are a lot of resource and training organizations and a couple 100,000 ECD centers that need these resources too. So a lot of people come to us asking for them, but there's only so much waste that Barrows produces. Therefore, there's a very limited amount of resources that we can produce with it. There's also this whole thing around you can't always plan for how much is coming out and when it's coming out. It all depends on Barrow's clients and what they're ordering in that time of year. And COVID has been quite disruptive in terms of previously we knew big prints around Easter, around Christmas, whereas COVID disrupted a whole lot of that because consumers weren't going into the shopping centers. Therefore, clients weren't printing these point of sale units. Therefore, waste was not coming. So there's all these unexpected things that keep coming up. That of course is a big restriction, but we get through that by sticking with the same partners and then just reaching more ECDC centers through them.
Sure. So climate change is a huge focus for corporates at the moment. It's on the agenda of every board. How does this project fit into the climate change discussion?
Well, it's all around mitigation strategies. This is reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Yes. And this is very much on the recycle, reuse point of view. And then not just from the climate change, is also addressing the early learning challenges and access to resources we have in our country. So simply put, that's what we're supporting through this initiative.
Wow. So, I mean, there are a few other stakeholders involved, Trade Reach being a huge logistics support. I'm trying to think who else.
City logistics. So that's the other thing is getting a massive amount of resources from point A to point B.
Sure.
City logistics has been incredible. They haven't even asked for a tax benefit.
Wow.
Or they've just come on board and said, cool, we'll get A to B. This is our way of doing more as well. So I think a lot of people are attracted to this project. And then, of course, our nonprofit partners have been incredible in this, as well as the ECD sector who helped the professionals that helped us come up with this from the beginning, come up with all the resources from the beginning.
Very cool. So where to next with this project? What does the future look like for Repurpose for Purpose?
Yeah, I think it's really an exciting space. I think we've had a podcast on Do More UK, or it may be coming up, and I think sharing this model with the world is our next step. It's showing people the power of building CSI into your business, using excess business inventory and seeing the business benefit that it has for you as well. It's recycling, reusing with purpose. So I'd like to share this in an international space as our next big step, and and see what other partners can bring to the table to just keep growing this from strength to strength.
Amazing.
Looking at more factories, more resources, more excess business inventories. How can this benefit the ECD sector in a meaningful way? I think that's our next big
Wonderful. Yeah. So if you're listening and you're a teacher or a nonprofit that would like to check out these resources, we'll put a link in the description below where you can find a whole bunch of games, all downloadable. And if you're interested in finding out more about this project, or you're a corporate and you have waste, we're so on board to partner. So please do reach out. So let's jump back to my intro question, the playful fun check-in. What item have you reused recently that is a repurposed child object thing? Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I never believed parents when they said that the child will always play with the box and not the toy.
Sure.
But I recently learned that is very much the case. So I think Jordan's favorite is an old ice cream box with a whisk inside of it, or even just a spoon that you randomly found in the bottom of your bag from the yogurt you had in the morning. Best drum set this child has ever had. 15 minutes a piece.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, you say peace, but actually,
I mean, like,
drum roll, please.
Depends what your definition of peace is these days. Mine has changed.
Nice. Great. Well, thanks for joining us, and please tune in next time for our Do More podcast.
Playtime.